Hi, today I want to talk about what I believe is the most precious thing in life, or the most precious thing in life that you don't have control over, which is time. If you ask people what's the most precious thing in life, they often say relationships, love, but these are things that you can control. The more love you give, the more you'll receive. However, time, no matter how rich or powerful you are, is running out. Maybe you can extend it because you have great doctors, but at some point will come to an end. And I think, as Steve Jobs, the beauty about time is that it is actually reducing, because that should make you live life differently and better. And I think Steve Jobs said, death is the single best invention of life, because it makes you appreciate life and it makes you do things with your life. If you had endless or infinite time, you know, what does it matter what I do today or in a year? I have endless time anyway. But I think we get we get caught up so much in our life, in our daily routines, that we never really think about it. And there are actually some cultures who think about death every single day. And now you might think this is super depressing, but it really depends on the perspective you put on it. If you look at it in a sense that it makes you appreciate life more and make you more do with it, I think it's actually something very positive. But you don't really have to go that far thinking about death every day, as in better managing your time. I think you simply have to use a couple of concepts in realizing how you can make the most of it. And so one thing is, if you look at your day, how you spend your day, what you spend your day on, i.e., showering and grooming, eating, shopping, working, meeting people, spending time with your partner, sleeping. If you look at your average day, I think you will be actually quite surprised how much time you spend on what I would call necessary but useless things, i.e. shopping. I mean, some people enjoy shopping, but I mean like grocery shopping, things that don't really add value to your day. And some people spend a significant part or a large part of their lives on those. And I think, okay, I think I'm back. Some wireless problem. So where was I? Yeah, so if you look at the way, and there's a saying that goes, the way you live your day is the way you live your life. So you can say, oh, today I'm just doing these things that don't make sense. But actually, you repeat this every day, and this is how you're going to spend your life. And I'm going to post a video at the end of my video that is really impressively showing how little time you have for the things you really want to do, or because you end up spending so much time on irrelevant things just to manage your life. And so I want to introduce a couple of concepts that I've come up with, that how I think about time and where I put my time into and where I don't, that help you make what I believe, better decisions. And so these are the concepts of time itself, of course, because you have less, so you have to decide what to spend it on, so be more conscious about it. The other one is attention and effort or energy. So we can only kind of juggle so many things at any given time in our brain. So let's say, and I'm coming up with some silly examples, but I don't know, you need to repair your car, you need to pick someone up, you need to file an insurance claim, you need to do your tax return, and then you need to visit your friends, you need to buy a birthday present for your mom, you need to spend some time with your family, whatever, all the good and bad things. And so there's kind of, you have a to-do list in your head or on paper. And the more things there are on, the more things you have to juggle. And these kind of keep constantly coming back. So they are distracting you from doing other things. And so what that means is you can only deal with so many things. So it's not just, if someone asks you for a favor, it's not just a decision how much time that will cost you. I don't know, you need to help someone move, so spend an afternoon or a few hours with that person. But it's also keeping that in your head. So there's only so many things you can manage at the same time. So for me, that's what I call attention. And you cannot give attention to a million things. Even if each of these things is just 1 second, your head will not be able to keep, control of these. You will go crazy. So one thing is, what do you give time to? How do you allocate your time? Your day has 24 hours, deduct 7 or 8 hours for sleep, eating, all of that. So you will realize, and I'm posting this video afterwards, that there's only so much time you can actually, usually for most people during the week, it's 2 to 3 hours per day that you really have for yourself. And if you look at the average American household, they spend it on watching TV. Anyway, so you have these 2 to 3 hours, and how you allocate them, that's the first decision. The second one is attention. How many things you juggle with at the same time? And sometimes you just have to say no, because it just adds to your list and it's really going to lower the quality of your life because you have too many things to deal with. And the third one is effort. It's not just the time in detention you put something, but effort. Some things just require more mental investment because they're more of an effort, not a physical effort, but just you dislike doing them. So you have to take that into consideration as well. Like, do you want to do that? Is it worth doing it? Is it important to you? Or is it important to someone else that's important to you? And it's because you only have such an amount of energy you can kind of put into things. And if there's something that drains your energy significantly, you might think twice of whether you're doing that. And so that's kind of my concepts around what I wanted to talk about time. And I just want to introduce one more thing in that respect, which is whenever we interact with someone, a person, you will either leave that interaction more energetic or less energetic. So there's people who drag you down and there's people who kind of pump you up. And whenever I decide who I spend time with, I think about that. It's more subconsciously nowadays, but there's people who I just know when I see them, I'm going to feel great. There's people I'm going to feel good. And then there's people who, whenever I see them or talk to them, even just on the phone, I'll feel worse. And I really try not to spend time with those people. In coaching, they're called energy vampires, and they just drag you down. And there's, in my view, simply, if you don't have to interact with them, and I think the only people you have to interact are the ones you work with. And if there are too many of energy vampires, you should maybe change your job. And family. And hopefully you like spending time with your family. But there are, of course, situations where, or people in your family you might not want to spend. But these are kind of the trickier parts to figure out. But everybody else, friends, etc., there might be people who just leave you worse off. And I think after some time you should seriously consider, like a bad relationship, to kind of break up and move on. Because what's the point of spending time with people that drag you down? And usually I think it goes both ways. So it's not just you suffering. So you just keep interacting because, yes, it's a friend and you've always been a friend, but maybe that friendship is over. I think like everything in life, it's transient. So things come and go in life. It's just because someone has been a friend, if the dynamic has changed, maybe that is over and you enter a new phase. Anyway, so those are my thoughts about time and how to spend it. Have a great day.